Trump is going to try to destroy Jasmine Crockett's campaign. And let me tell you so you can look for it. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you 3 core things and 2 big bombshells that are going to fuck you up. You ready for this? I want you to be prepared for it. If you don't see it, you're going to miss it and you're going to be upset. You'll be like, oh my God, I wish I listened to Darren. Here's the thing. The first thing is the base. See, there's the base, the race, and the place. The base, black folks, we got to get out of the thinking of a black woman can't be anything. Oh, black women, that America ain't ready for a black woman to be. No, no, no. I am from Chicago. I lived in Dallas for 12 years, but I am from Chicago, and I voted for the first black woman, Senator Carol Moseley Braun, in 1992. We are ready for Jasmine to be a senator. So get that talk out the way. Kill that talk. Quench that talk. If they insist on talking that way, get the fuck from them and find somewhere to be. Secondly, the race. There's something people don't talk about. And I'm going to go there because none of the creators will go there, especially not the white ones. Here's the thing. There's an issue between black and Latinos that's always existed all over this country. But particularly in Texas, racist white people will try to go to Mexican people and talk about black people, then go to black people, talk about Mexican people to divide us. Understand very clear the history of blacks and Mexicans in Texas. Texas was on its own, owned by Mexico, and sure enough, the white settlers in the South saw all of the low-cost land and came in and started bringing their black slaves, but Mexico was like, wait a minute, we don't have slavery anymore. We don't want any slaves. They said, no, no, don't worry, it's indentured servants. But them indentured servants, us, snuck away and told the Mexico, ran away and said, Mexico, we were slaves. They a lie. So all of a sudden, Mexico was like, listen, man, we really not feeling y'all right now. And by that point, the white settler was like, we don't care. It's our land now. No, actually, it's not. Y'all got to go. Get out. And they were like, no, we're not going to go. In fact, we'll go over to this little place in San Antonio and just, stay at the Alamo. Please go away. Don't make us stomp you. Get out of here. No, we're going to stay. And they stomped them. They said, okay, bet. Stomped them. And then all of a sudden, remember the Alamo. The real stand the whites were taking was their rights to own slaves, y'all. So it's a deep, deep history with Latinos and blacks. There are many Latinos and blacks, even in Texas, that don't know that. I want you to understand something. They're going to try to divide us because if in any way the Latino community, they can divide and pull them away, they'll get them over there and they won't vote for Jasmine. Now, why would they want to vote for Jasmine over the other guy? Why do they want to vote for him? Here's why. It comes down to this. She's the only one who's done the most legislation with other people in Congress against ICE for immigration rights in every way. And she is not pro-Israel. They're going to try to hit him with that. Trump is going to try to destroy her with she's pro-Israel. No, she's not. She voted like every other congressperson the first time around when Hamas attacked Israel. But after that, she got critical. She's like, wait a minute, the numbers don't make sense. I ain't voting for that. I ain't voting for this. I ain't voting for the other. And no, she's never accepted any AIPAC money. Only thing she's done with AIPAC, which they're going to try to tie her to, is she and other Congress people went and visit Israel on AIPAC's dime. They did. On AIPAC's invite to that travel to Israel. Other than that, and that was in 2023, other than that, she is not accepting any AIPAC money. Now, here's the other thing with race. I want you to understand, too. We got to really get these white women, the same ones who didn't vote for Kamala because they were kind of in their feelings, they got to get in there. Are you in now, white women who didn't vote for Kamala? Because let's be very clear, even though Elon and Trump stole the you-know-what, there were white women who identified and sat on the couch, and we lost in some major states. Those same people who are thinking that way, I'm not sure about her. I don't know enough about her. You've seen that shit. When they say shit like that, that's the flag word for, I don't want to vote for that black woman. Or as in with Kamala, I don't want to vote for that black Indian woman married to the Jew. But they don't want to look that way. They don't want to be chastised or judged. But so they don't say anything. They just don't show up in the polls. And that's the thing. Many of these white women, if she can't get them to vote with her, then they will either sit on the couch or vote for this guy over. They will do it. They will do it. They will run to safety, especially in Texas. So we got the base, the race. Let's talk about the place. The place, Texas. Interesting thing. They have the power in all of the blue cities. You have Fort Worth, Texas, both Fort Worth and Texas. You have Austin. You have San Antonio. You have H-Town, Houston. They got bases, and they have rural black and minority people. And she fought in those rural areas for black and minority people as a civil rights attorney. So she does have a coalition. But if she cannot rally enough of these Latinos and white women in the base, she's going to have a problem being in the place. And where Trump is going to try to come in, and everybody on the Trump administration is labeling her pro-Israel. They're also going to do the same tactic they did on Kamala. Send those Palestine protesters to all of her engagements and speak out, because it worked against Kamala. They're going to work it now. I'm convinced now that Kamala had a lot of people who were paid for by PAC money who were Trumpers, because it didn't make sense that the Palestinian people would show up at her book signings. It didn't make sense. Pre-Palestine, why are you doing that at a book signing? Especially at a book signing where they're charging $100 plus to come in. We know who paid you off. There's somebody in a PAC that paid you off. This didn't have nothing to do with Palestine. And maybe several of those campaigns, if not all of them, during her campaign, weren't even actual Palestine people. They were people who were screaming Palestine while absolutely trying to destroy Kamala. And they're going to come at her mentoree, the person who she's mentored, Jasmine Crockett, the same damn way. They're going to try to throw Palestine, they're going to try to throw pro-Israel and throw her under the bus every way they can. And then what they're going to try to go in and just completely, and keep in mind, they could have been throwing pro-Palestine at her for years now, right? She got in 2023, but they didn't want to care about that. Now they care, because they don't want to get into that Senate spot. They're going to throw everything they can, any kind of dirt they can throw at her, and shove her down the ranks. Now, as much as I say that, I would love to hear my Latino sisters come in, brothers and sisters, read in on this, especially if you're in Texas. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because truly, if there was ever a time we needed the Latino vote, it's now. If it was ever a time we needed white women to vote in Texas, it's now. Every single vote matters. Every battle that we've had for the last 11 months have been involved with these assholes who have done these horrible things to us. And now is the time to get back and support somebody who's going to come in there the right way, and we know is going to be progressive and fight for us. And that's what it's all about. We need progressive people out there fighting on our behalf. It's time to get it. Now, the other thing that they're going to try to do is to make their best to mess with any kind of funding that she would get for her campaign. This is the bombshells I talked about. So I had some bombshells. All right. Before I even go into that bombshell, I'm going to go into the first bombshell, which is take a look right now at every one of them, every single creator that you like that is not black, and see if in the last 24 to 36 hours, have they said anything about Kamala's campaign. Notice some of the biggest ones like breaking news. We're always going to tell you breaking news. Even in the smaller regional campaigns, they ain't said shit about Kamala. They ain't said shit about Jasmine Crockett running. Excuse me, I might have said Kamala Harris earlier, but you know what I mean. Jasmine Crockett running for Senate. They may not have. They have. I just don't. I think that there's a problem there. We are not getting the full support. And I'm seeing it. And I'm saying that as much as you think these people are on the side of the left, they may not be. Another example of that, too, is these are the same people who are telling you America has fallen. They're giving you every kind of horrible thing out there, but yet they claim it from the left. Are they really from the left? Or are they just saying they ain't right when they are? Or do they just have such a fuck up mindset they can't even see they being played by the right by repeating their talking points and having more brainwashing happening. So you have this creator mentality that's happening that Jasmine Crockett's up against right now. And you have these people who won't even announce or put it out there. That's supposed to be big breaking news. One of the biggest House of Representative members, most known, most famous House of Representative members, is going for Senate in the last 24 hours. And you didn't even announce it. It didn't even hit any of the big creators who always do the big breaking news. Don't you think that's interesting? Keep an eye out and see who acts that way. I saw the same thing happen during Kamala's campaign when I was working on her campaign. Some of these same people who claim to be full-blown leftists was hating like a motherfucker on Kamala, especially before Biden announced her as the campaign candidate. They were like, no, we should primary. Why should you primary? Why you got a primary? She was the vice president for 4 years. Why would you need the primary? You don't think she has the ability to do it? Because what's missing from her skill set that you would see in someone else who hasn't been vice president, who hasn't been a former senator, who hasn't been a former attorney general for the largest state in the U.S.? No. Here's the thing. There's a double standard going on because the most qualified demographic right now, other than Asian communities, are black women. And they rock. And they're coming in and rocking. And Jasmine is an attorney. Jasmine was a civil rights attorney. Jasmine has been a congressperson. Jasmine has sought legislation to fight everything that Trump's battling. So bad that Trump has her in his name. So bad that the governor can't stand her. Okay? I'm saying, what I'm trying to break down to you is that she's up against it. Both, we got to get out of the women don't deserve to be Senate. We got to get out of the, Latino. We got to get correct with the Latinos and the white women and see where they stand and keep it real. Don't bullshit us. Well, I don't know enough about her. What the fuck you mean? You don't know enough about Jasmine Crockett. What can't Google and ChatGPT tell you and social media that you haven't already heard? You can look up everything. And then the third part of that is dealing with the place that she's in. She'll have the blue cities, which is all the major cities. She'll have some of the rural areas, as long as there's some black folks in there. But what's going to happen? Because Texas is large. She got to get that whole state to vote for her in a way that's there. And a lot of these people are going to run towards traditionalism, which is not going to be Jasmine. It's going to be her competitor, who I've hardly mentioned. No dig on them, but I mean, listen, you got to make a decision, but you also, if you're outside of Texas, to support it. Now, I told you there was 2 bombshells, right? The first one I just dropped. Look at the creators that are out there who are all of a sudden not supporting Jasmine, yet you claiming the left. Interesting. Let's talk about the second bombshell with the Democratic Party supporter. Here's what I discovered working for Kamala. Democratic Party was not 100% on Kamala's side, y'all. I say this in my private clarity group all the time. They were not on her side. That was really shocking to see that they didn't lock up and form up like Voltron and fight together. What was the other thing that was of great concern to me? I found it absolutely horrific that there are people in the down tickets across this nation who are Democrats having a hard time getting funding and support from the national because there's personal beef with them. I got a problem with that. You should too. It's like seeing those 8 capitulating cowards give us up during the shutdown. We got problems. Kamala's problem, but it's also now Jasmine's problem, is not only dealing with her base, the race, and the place, and these creators who claim to be on the left, but they ain't saying shit about her, how cute that gets. Watch them. They're major names. People always ask me, well, why haven't you supported more the creators? And I say, oh, yeah. I look at the creators and I see what they're doing. I see how they treated Kamala in the past. I remember that. And I also remember what they haven't said about Jasmine. You take a look at that yourself. Please take a look at that. But this final big bomb that comes in involves our very own Democratic Party. If they do not support her, and Trump and his Trump administration gets behind trying to get a call bro Israel, have Hamas pro-Palestine strikes on her, at her events, and tries to throw that at her. They try to somehow associate her with AIPAC because she went on a trip with all of these Congress people to AIPAC, despite her never taking any AIPAC money. They're going to try to throw everything at her that they would throw at a minority black woman who they know is way more qualified than the person she's up against. And they're going to throw it at her hard. But right now, even before they get there, we have a problem within our creator base and within our DNC, our national DNC, supporting this black woman. Because there's an issue there that's coming up left and right, over and over again, whether she should be in that place. Remember, this is the same woman who got blocked by Jeffries over getting on the oversight committee for the House of Representatives. And it ended up being Garcia, but she got blocked. She got blocked. There's some weird shit going on. So if she can get through again, place, race, and get through base, race, and place, and if she can deal with somehow these creators who are big, who are not black, coming in and covering her and talking, and if she can somehow get something going with the Democratic Party, which I think secretly much of that Democratic Party, is supporting the other guy. From what I've seen so far initially, we need to be aware and wake up and see that happening. Now, how can we help? The first thing you can do, if you live in, whether you live in Texas or not, you can always do phone banking if they in fact have it. They just started. This is ground zero, day one. What else can you do? Spread videos like this. There's no video like this. Spread my video, share my video. Three, what you can do is anything that she has come out that she's talking about on 3, make sure that you share that as well, no matter to who it is. Spread word on her, okay? The 4th thing that you can do, obviously, give money to her campaign to help her. The 5th thing that you can do is continue to make sure that you clarify with people the misconceptions that are happening, because you already got people trying to say she's pro-Israel. She is not. There are many things she voted against that they wanted to give money on Israel, and she would not do. She said the math ain't mathing. Here's the other thing, but she did vote on 1 or 2, but out of like 6 things, she voted on 2, okay? She did go to Israel, part of the AIPAC tour that was there, but she never took AIPAC money or people associated with AIPAC money. I want you to understand this. She's going to be a great senator, and it is time for us to have a senator and have a black woman senator in Texas. And we've had black senators who are black women senators since 1992. I voted for the first one, Carol Moseley Braun, right here in Chicago. But it's time for us to realize what the challenges will be. The base got to stop talking about women. Now, we ain't get a black woman. Stop that talk. Just stop it. Just stop it. Keep going. You find anybody who is talking that way and they won't stop, keep it going. Stop talking to them. Okay? Secondly, we got to deal with race. We got to have a real conversation with the Latinos. So does Jasmine Crockett, and the white women who are in there. Well, I don't know about Jasmine. No, let's cut the words. You voting or not? Shit will get off the pot. And if you're not, be very clear why you're not. Don't tell me stupid shit like, I don't know enough about her. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's what they said about Kamala. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's been vice president for 4 years. Ain't nothing but a Google, Chat GPT, and her website away. 3, we got to deal with place. Place right here. We got a rule problem. If she goes for this and beats out the guy in the primary, she going to deal with a lot of good old boys. And some of them are ex-Trumpers and may vote with her, but there are many that won't. That's why that race contingency of white women is so needed in Texas. If you're white and a woman, you're not racist, please talking to your fellow white women. Get them hip on why Jasmine Crockett will be a lot better than this other guy. Because this other guy is nice, but we need somebody who's going to be raw with it. We need somebody who's going to be a badass, not a traditionalist. And the other guy's a traditionalist. Here's the 4th part of that. These creators out here. She needs to reach creators. Confront the creators. Ask them, why haven't you mentioned this more? Why didn't you talk about Jasmine Crockett running? You talking about all the breaking news and you didn't talk about her? What's up with that? You know, they come with breaking news. They want to talk about other regional things happening, but they never want to mention that black woman. And then there's the 5th part of that, which is we got to really get pressure on the DNC to make sure they support her when she wins the primary, but we got to wait that one out. Hang in there. Be strong, be diligent, be tight, but understand, Jasmine, she's got a road, man. She's got a road. Check out my next video.